Hello, my name is Biswell. You might know me as one of the more humble tattoo modders of the TexTools Discord. I recently acquired some new toys for tattoo making and thought I would share them with the world, along with writing a lengthy guide to answer the questions I get the most often on Discord, like, how do I make my tattoos? Although I was not alone in the creation of this resource. If you are watching this video, please use the video description's timeline markers to go to specific sections of the guide. You may skip certain sections if you are already familiar with them. This first video is meant to focus on how to use and navigate the modding resource called the Tattoo Master Rig by Spiswell, which is linked in the description below as a way of helping the user make custom, higher quality, hand-drawn tattoos. For making tattoos using pre-made existing images, see the Photoshopping and pre-made images section of the written guide or the workflow video, both linked in the description below. Let's get started. First of all, please do not use this resource and guide for anything else than modding Final Fantasy XIV, because that's not what I created it for, and that's not what the people who helped me create it would want. Prerequisites. This video guide assumes you have no previous knowledge of a Blender program, but it does assume you have some capacity for drawing and coloring using your program of choice, such as Photoshop, Paint Tool SAI, Krita, GIMP, etc. This guide also assumes you have the capacity of importing and exporting textures from the TexTools program, as well as an image editor, which can handle DDS files, such as GIMP or Photoshop. If you don't know how to import or export a texture from TexTools, please read the tutorial from the TexTools website linked in the description below. Let's set ourselves up. To use this master rig, you'll need Blender version 2.80 or higher, which can be downloaded from the link in the description below. Let's begin the overview. We'll take a look at the contents of the master rig folder and review the files and folders in the order they appear. On the first one is Tattoo Sketches, where you'll be hopefully saving your works. Females. This folder contains the female dummy and its associated textures. Lalas contains the Lalafell dummy and its associated textures. Males contains the male dummy. Roy/Ross contains the Rogadin dummy and its associated textures. How to use and credits is pretty self-explanatory, and the Tattoo Master Rig.blend is the actual master rig file. Opening one of the folders will show you a variety of files. You'll always find in one of the folders the dummy model used in 3ds format, here named as Dummy F. The diffuse texture maps in PNG form, here named as BB Weaver 2 Midlander Female and BB Weaver 2 Aura Female. A blank mask texture map in PNG format, here named as Female Masks. Please note, the default body mods and textures used in this master rig are, for females, Gen 2 textures compatible with Titan Firm, Titan Soft, BBW VR2, PK Petit Gen 2, etc., along with BB VR2, torso and legs. For males, the body by Tsar. For Lalafells, Shapely NSFV by Koi. And for Rogadin and Throsgaz, the HR body. But Spiswell, you may already be asking yourselves, that's a lot of races missing. Why isn't there a female Elezen or a male Highlander dummy? And why are the only textures available the Midlander and Aura ones? Oh, don't panic about that, because FF14 and by extension TexTools reuses the Midlander male and Midlander female models and textures layouts to make pretty much all the other races. Here's a handy reminder of what races stem from which 3D model. Here Midlander male shares its 3D model and texture layout with Mikode male, Elezen male, and Highlander male. Here Midlander female shares its 3D model and texture layout with Mikode female, Elezen female, Highlander female, Rogadin female, and Viera. Rogadin male shares its 3D model and texture layout with Throughtgars. Lalafell male and Lalafell female have unique models and share the texture's layout. Therefore, for the purpose of this master rig, only the Hugh Midlander male, Hugh Midlander female, Rogden male, and Lalafell male models were provided. That's not all. Body textures are also shared within certain races. Here's a handy reminder of what races share what textures. Hugh Midlander male shares its texture with Mikota male and Ellison male. Hugh Midlander female shares its texture with Mikota female and Ellison female. Highlander female shares its texture with Rogadin female. And Lalafell male shares its texture with Lalafell female. Highlander male, Rogadin male, Aurum male and female, Hrothgars and Vieras have their own textures. For the purpose of this rig, and because the textures layouts are the same between most of these races, only the Midlander and Aura PNG textures were provided. About the limitations. Sadly, there are a number of limitations to what can be done with placing your tattoos on your diffuse skin map. The biggest and first one is no asymmetry. Because Final Fantasy XIV body models mirror from left to right, whatever you may draw on the left side of the body will show on the right side reversed, and vice versa. No X-race only or player only tattoos. As I explained earlier, certain races share the textures, and as such, a tattoo might display on multiple races at once. The textures are also shared between all the players on the screen, so you cannot be the only one sporting that ink. Sorry. Let's get on to the actual topic. When opening the Tattoo Master Rig file in Blender, you'll be greeted with a view that should more or less look like this. I know, it's a lot to take in at once, but we'll go over the basics slowly. First of all, we will be mostly using the Texture Paint workspace to do our work, and the model should always be in Texture Paint mode to allow us to do edits. About Blender layering. Blender does not natively support layers for textures like a PSD file would. The way the Blender master file is set up has basically two main textures applied to the model's material. One being the diffuse skin map, and the other being a transparent PNG which sits on top of the model and acts as the overlay for the tattoo. Please refrain from modifying, moving, or otherwise messing with the structure and architecture of the Blender file, and do not remove or delete the texture files and overlay masks present in the different folders. Viewport's camera controls. Here's a few shortcuts to handle your camera angle in the viewport. The middle mouse button, MMB, rotates the camera. Shift and middle mouse button pans the camera. Control plus middle mouse button zooms in or out. The numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8 on the numpad will rotate the camera along the central axis in small increments. Numbers 1, 3, 7, and 9 on the numpad are shortcuts to the front, side, top, and bottom views. Number 5 swaps between perspective view and orthographic view. Click the link in the description below for the Blender manual page about orthographic view. And lastly, pressing period on the numpad will recenter your view. You may also click the button of the gizmo on the top right center of the view to change your viewport camera or snap immediately to a certain angle. Hover your mouse cursor over a button to see a short description of what it does. How to change the displayed model. To change what model is currently being displayed in your viewport, take a look at the upper right corner of the screen at the Scene Collections overview. Untick the Midlander Male Collections box to make it disappear, then tick your desired models box instead. Make sure you use the drop-down arrows to actually select the model you wish to display. Once that is done, you'll notice your model might be in Object mode or Edit mode. So make sure to click on the drop-down menu to change it back to texture paint mode before trying to make any edits. Changing and saving the overlay layer. For now, the overlay layer you'll be painting on is a blank, transparent PNG file. When that changes and you need to save your work or load a previous sketch, we'll be saving it as a copy of that overlay or loading a previous copy. Saving the overlay. Let's assume for a moment you've done some sketching. Click in the UV Viewers window on Image in the top left corner and choose either Save As or Save a Copy. You may navigate to the Tattoo Sketches folder in the Master Rig folder and save your existing sketch there. Changing the overlay. What if you have an existing sketch you want to continue working on? Navigate to the Shading workspace from the bar on the top of the screen. Whoa, what's all this? Well, don't worry, this is just our material setup, the way our model is currently textured in Blender. Now, let's take a closer look at the nodes on the far left of the setup. You'll notice one contains the image for the diffuse texture map, the skin, and the other contains, you guessed it, the sketch overlay. Click Open Image or on the left button of this node and navigate to your desired sketch to load it. Next, return to the Texture Paint workspace and voila! Our sketch is loaded and ready to be continued. Changing the diffuse map. Drawing on the Midlander's textures that you can reuse for Viera, Highlander, Rogue and Female, etc. is very handy. But what if you want to draw on an aura and visualize the scales that are on your skin? Like explained before, navigate to the Shading workspace from the top bar. Then take another look at our nodes on the far left of the material setup. This time, you'll be changing the base color node. Click the Open Image button and navigate to your desired diffuse map. Once it's loaded, return to the Texture Paint workspace and voila! You now have an aura instead of a Midlander to work with. Thank you for watching this video. For a detailed workflow on how to actually make a tattoo using this resource from start to finish, please check out the workflow video in the description below. I'll see you next time.